Shit, he rushes at you brandishing a knife. Holy shit, despite the others trying to stop him, the blade hits its marks. He stabs you in the stomach. The wound is deep. You suffer before the darkness takes you. Alright, welcome back to Bahnsen Knights, episode 3. And imagine the electric guitar solo after the name, because it's pretty rock and roll. Alright, bop. Vincent steps on the gas. And you can't afford to fall behind. Oh yeah. We're driving with Vincent, who might or might not be, well... I have the suspicion that vampires might be involved in this game, because it has a very Lost Boys feeling to it, but maybe that's just me. The old roadblocks are long gone. Ever since the storm started, everyone, police, firefighters, even FEMA for a while, has been dedicated to the reconstruction effort. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. Resources are scarce, and politics is never up to the task. Never. In a context like this, with official actors attempting to manage the chaos, paragovernmental organizations emerge. Ooh, that's like... Is that like groups that are not really the government, but they pretend like they are? Like neighborhood watches. Is that a paragovernmental? I have to look that up. I don't know. Whoosh. Cooper's mission was to infiltrate and investigate Tony and his Bahnsen Knights, a group that caught the agency's attention due to their growth in the wake of those first tornadoes. Hell on high. Tony's messianic delusion. The agency isn't concerned with the religious ideas of the Bahnsen Knights. The agency is interested in the power they've acquired. Economic power. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I don't trust cults, you know. It's always... very commercial, very capitalistic, and or, you know, can be both, abusive. Like, and, you know, rapey abusive, like violence abusive. So it's, I don't know, show me one cult that is not, like, super problematic, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I can join them. As well as territorial. Oh yeah, sorry. The road leading to the barn is gravel, and despite bumping your head against the car's roof multiple times, that must be a small car, and you must be a tall dude. You refuse to let Vincent gain too much distance. Oh! You hit Luca and he falls backwards. That was timed! I'm not used to that. Shit, he rushes at you brandishing a knife. Holy shit, despite the others trying to stop him, the blade hits its marks. He stabs you in the stomach. The wound is deep. You suffer before the darkness takes you. Second death! Like, first 5 minutes. That is... that's pretty cool. Brake! Luca! You hit the brakes just in time. Reflexes, avoid an accident. Nah. It's not reflexes. It's the opposite. What's the opposite of reflexes? You crazy motherfucker! That's not how you said it. It's you crazy motherfucker! Your heart is pounding. You know there's no room for even a moment's distraction when dealing with the Bahnsen Knights. You step out of the car and let them park it for you. Yeah, he looks like a... well, he looks more like a wide dude than a tall dude. But it looks like a very small car. And he looks like he will definitely bump his head on the roof. You know they're gonna tease you about this. But you also know you have a role to play. You're Boulder. A big, calm guy. But with a self-destructive urge gnawing at your core. You're an iceberg from which 2 chunks have been torn away. And the current carried them off, never to return. Your hand had recommended you to use the cover story to your advantage, arguing that pity is one of the most powerful resources when it comes to diverting attention. You look at the Bahnsen Knights around you and can't help but wonder, is it really? Look at these. Do they really have pity? Compassion, pity, empathy? Will these three characters be able to feel something like that? I mean, everyone, in some way or another, cares about other people. The question is whether they care about him. You know? Keith was the eldest among them all. And if half the stories about him were true, he would have a guaranteed place at Satan's side. Ooh-wee. Luca. So that's Keith, probably. He looks like he has white hair. Who you almost ran over a few minutes ago. It's the one with the shitty military vest. Or it's a jean jacket. Could be one of them. You're pretty sure there must be a language somewhere in which Luca and psychopath are etymologically linked. Ah. And Vincent. Yeah, Vincent! A sadist who's never heard of the Marquis de Sade. Self-taught and natural-born sadist. And therefore much more dangerous. I mean, how do you know how his upbringing was? Don't think you just, you know, gossip a lot with these three. Sorry. I was distracted for a second. Don't worry, Boulder. At least you didn't kill me. Although Eva and Olivia's deaths were part of your act, a fiction, you can't help but feel a rage that threatens to consume you. You glance at Vincent, who shakes his head back and forth. Oh, so in his story, he killed his family in a car accident. So that was like a dig. Damn. Damn! That's... whew. You start to say something and Keith clears his throat. Stop fucking around, you two. You know why we're here. Tony wants to exercise a new road. Oh. So it's not demon exorcism. It's like clearing the road, gaining ground. Ah, interesting. So I recommend you bury your demons deep, Boulder. And pay more attention next time. You look at Luca and Luca smiles. What's up, Boulder? Do you fancy me? On the contrary, you want to cover his face with bruises. Turn his expression into a Rorschach stain. And not worry about what you may or may not see in it. Hey! Vincent points towards the door of the barn. And the three of them suddenly become serious. Speaking of Rome. Who are these two? They both look very much like Tony and Monique, the librarian. Oh, I just want to say they look like agents, like, you know, Mulder and Scully. Monique is Tony's trusted lieutenant. Oh, so she's, not a Scully. A woman of few words. And who you doubt knows how to smile. Well, she doesn't have to with a face like that. Who needs to smile, you know? Listen to me. By now I reckon we all know the signs. He looks good. With the mutton chops, I like it. Why are his knuckles covered in blood? A new tornado is approaching our roads. And we're not going to let it pass. Tony goes over everyone's roles in the exorcism. Unconsciously, you position yourself on the outskirts of the group. Do these guys really think they can influence the path of a tornado? Boulder, listen to me. Today you go first. But Tony! Tony looks Luca in the eye and Luca looks down. Fine then. You nod. What are you waiting for? You run to the Sierra. Before you get in, you steal a glance at the barn. What was Tony doing in there? And whose blood did he wipe off his knuckles? You mark the position of the barn on the map. As soon as you had the chance, you'd go back to investigate. Ooh, yes, I want to. A new exorcism on the road. And this was the first time you'd be out at the front. The most important position in the formation. Oh, for which you need the total confidence of the rest of the drivers. You always found it hard to read, Tony. Assign you to the top of the cross? Why give you that role? You gaze at the sun visor on the passenger seat. No, this isn't the time to seek solace in the drawings, nor to think about how much more time until the extraction. You start the car and rev the engine. Start your engines! Hoping that the roaring noise will drown out even your own thoughts. It was a Drag Race reference, sorry. Exercise, well, I don't have any other options, so I guess we'll do that. What is it? What? 30 seconds? Oh, move right? Alright. Alright. I think we got lucky so far. Wow, cool. Okay, whew. Oh, I think that was the first time ever that I managed one of these games without dying first. That looks really... Oh, I love this. Honestly, this looks like fairy dust tornado, so I'm all in. The tornado weakens. Your heart races, flooded with an excitement you can't explain. Road warrior, lead a successful road exorcism. So I guess the little Scully was like... Not the Scully from X-Files, but the skull, and then a Y as a term of endearment. Was like the tornado? Okay. You roll down the window, and only the horns of the Bahnsen Knights can be heard on the road. Oh yeah, it's a tornado. Why would you be outside? Well, though, you know, so many... Like, what I don't get is when you see, like, catastrophes and, like, freak waves, how many people still stand still? Chapter 4. And, like, record it? I don't think... Man, I don't even record or take pictures during family events and gatherings, you know, and stuff with friends. Like, I forgot even there because I'm in the moment. But I think in crisis or in danger, no, I would not. I could not. I would not have the... I wouldn't even think about it. Alright, let's go! 0 beers. Let's remember that. It's not the first time it's happened to you. As soon as you walk into into Danny's bar, you feel like you're floating. Man, look at this! He's so wide. Like, you can see yourself from the outside. You're someone else. I don't have that often. I think I had it once or twice in my life. Didn't like it. Very uncomfortable. Look who's here! The illusion soon shatters. You try to smile and return the greeting. You're Boulder, an undercover agent investigating a religious cult led by Tony. Looking for answers about the disappearance of Kupra, your dear friend and godfather to your daughter. I like that every single chapter, in a way, reiterates a little bit of the story. So you could even dive into chapter 4, you know, after a while. Like, maybe if you took a break like I do between a couple of episodes and chapters, to kind of get back to the story. It's really smartly done, and I think it works with the pulp, you know, thingy, maybe where a lot of pulp, I think, was released in series format in magazines. As that's what I've read, because in Germany we didn't have that much, but I know in America, for example, a lot of writers actually got famous through Playboy magazine and stuff like that, because they published there, and they got to publish there. Just like... kind of weird and hilarious. Okay. There you go. You miss little Olivia so much. Your eyes itch. And it's not because of the smoke in the bar. Take a breath. What are you going to do now? Go to the left of the bar, go to the right of the bar, go to the... Well, I want to go everywhere. Go to the left. Get closer now. I don't want to sit with the Bahnsen Knights. Yeah, let's... mingle, I guess. Go to the emergency exit. Oh, let's see. Sit down, Boulder. There's a deck if you want to try. I have the record. You look at Luca, and Luca smiles and winks at you. How you'd like to wipe that smile off his face with a punch. No, I don't want to... Okay, so this is the thing of the Pulp Fictions. They always have a card game, and I never really get it, and I never win. So I will not even... Okay, we will play once. What are the rules? So we got... Is it 7 angels? Okay, I thought it was a... Okay, so here's the thing. because of the devil, I know that this is supposed to be an angel. The devil is very clear. The angel, this is the halo, this is the head, wings, and then the body. But I thought it was a wizard, because here, the turquoise could be, you know, a beard, and those two black dots could be the eyes, and then it's the wizard head. You know, anyways. Ask how to play it. Rules are simple. You'll turn over one card per turn. That card is the salvation. And it will have to be the doom card. What's the doom card? If the salvation seems low to you, you can add as many cards as you want from the cross. If the salvation card is higher than the doom card, you continue playing. If it's lower, you lose. And if it's of equal value, you'll have to break the tie by turning over 2 new cards. One of salvation and another one of doom. If you lose the tiebreaker, which we call leap of faith, you'll be able to look for a miracle. The miracle can only be achieved if you match the value of doom by adding cards from the cross to the leap of faith. No. What? No. Okay, I never got into card playing, and even I also can't play chess because my mind, it's the creative chaos inside that makes my work, you know, very well. Like, I'm really good at my job, and I can even organize and you know, strategize, but games like this, I cannot compute. I'm just not, I don't know what's happening. For each leap of faith you win, oh, it's not even over. For each leap of faith you win, you will get a new cross. You can use a new cross at the beginning of each turn and deal cards until you fill it again. Simple, isn't it? It's not. Oh god. Okay, we'll play it and then we'll break off as soon as we can and then we'll move on and forget that this happened, okay? You need to tie the doom to obtain a miracle. Oh, okay. Undo. You lose. Your score is 4. Your current high score is 4. Exit. So here's the thing. I think this is really cool. It's a really cool little game mechanic, and I think for people who like playing cards, it's so rewarding. Just like the dart one, you know. It's just not... I played all 3 of the Pixel Pulp card games, and I don't think I have ever won any. It is what it is, you know. I can accept that. It's fine. Talk. Talk to Monique. Ooh, she's so gorgeous. Monique looks ahead. You wonder what she's thinking about. And for the moment, you can't think of anything to say to her. Alright, I guess we won't talk to Monique. Talk to Vincent. Oh, he looks so cool. Ask him about the nice glasses, mate. It seems you want to make conversation, Boulder. I could tell you I wear them because smoke irritates my eyes. Or because I'm a vampire, maybe? You know, maybe it's like vampire specific eyes. I don't know. Because drinking makes them red. I didn't know that apparently in some vampire lore, vampires have red eyes. I only know this from Baldur's Gate, and maybe it's just a D&D thingy. But maybe that's it. You know, red eyes. Could be because I don't want anyone to see me as I am. And I hide behind them. Or I could tell you a story from when I was a kid. Why not? 2 of my neighbors, a few years older than me, they invented this game. It involved grabbing my neck and lowering my head until it almost touched a freshly made dog turd. And seeing who could hold me the closest without my face touching it or me getting away. At first I resisted. I tried with all my strength to get out of it. But then I got used to seeing pieces of shit right up close. You know how many times I had conjunctivitis and missed school? What do you say, Boulder? Could this have something to do with what happened to me when I was a kid? The truth is much simpler, you know. Glasses look fucking good on me. Ah, he's so cool. He's so cool. I mean, that's the issue with villains. If they're well written, they're always so much cooler than the heroes. Because he's kind of a boring doofus, you know. And this gang, man, you know, they're really, really cool. Alright. Back. Go to the bar. Talk to Denny's. You walk to the bar. Kevin, oh, it's not Denny's, it's Kevin. Kevin also looks super cool. We're the only person in this entire game who does not look cool. You know, that's an issue. Like, I'm really bad. Look at me. Look at me. But I guess that's the goal, to be unassuming. Because if you look cool, you also have to be cool. Otherwise, you're super pathetic. You know, it's not just fashion. It's how you carry yourself. And I think Boulder is not the kind of person who can carry himself well. So, yeah, I get it. Kevin continues to do his thing without looking up. Ask, is everything alright? Ever feel out of place, Boulder? The question takes you by surprise. You read all of Cupra's reports, and you know that Kevin had become something like a friend to him. What exactly had it said? Kevin, current owner of Denny's Bar, is one of the most interesting characters I've met connected to the Bahnsen Knights. You'd like to tell him that you're friends with Cupra, and ask him if he knows what happened to him. But things aren't that simple. Sometimes there's just no choice. I was always good with numbers, you know. That's why Dad never let me go. The old man even asked me to do his taxes. Did you ever read Martin Gardner's columns in Scientific American? Look at Kevin carefully. Although you don't know exactly what he's talking about, you now understand Cooper's interests. He's reading a magazine. But, man, they're really... Boulder and Cooper are really apparently not that good of, you know, investigators. Like, why? Oh man, this person reads magazines. Scientific American, that's... Wow, you must be so smart. The first one I've ever read was recommended to me by a customer. I was 15 waiting tables. This one guy couldn't make up his mind what to order. He'd ask for one thing and instantly regret it, change to something else. I thought maybe he didn't have enough money. I ran him through the menu again, including combinations of stuff that I figured he might like, given what he'd already asked for. Like a living algorithm. And in my head, I calculated the right price for all these made-up dishes. The guy just stared at me and told me to bring him whatever I wanted. He left me a hell of a tip and a copy of Scientific American. Is it... I don't know, is it... I mean, it's a magazine, and we have it... Maybe that's the thing. We have it, you know. My husband regularly buys it because he really likes it. But it's really very accessible. Like, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong magazine, but I think it is that. And it's... The good thing about Scientific American is that it actually makes science digestible, you know. Even if you're a doofus, it's easy to understand. So I don't know why that's such a sign of, whoa, you know, it's not rocket science. I mean, there's rocket science covered, but in a way that even doofuses can understand it. On the cover he wrote, read the mathematical games column. You'll enjoy it. You know how many times I thought about getting the hell out of this place? But I couldn't leave Dad on his own. So I will also decide I will not do a lot of voices. You've noticed, because there's no voices, there's just one voice, it's mine. So I can put more emphasis on the emotion and the reading itself, and also that won't also be amazing, so it is what it is. Dad got me a subscription to Scientific American, and later signed me up to a correspondence writing course. Getting the mail every month is what kept me sane, Boulder. Ask about the writing course. That would be so rude to order a beer. Kevin looks at you for a few seconds. He seems to enjoy being listened to. The guy who taught the course signed his name with only 3 letters. LCB. Haha, that's the game studios. Oh, that's so meta. That's such a Stephen King thing to do. I used to fantasize about what those letters stood for. Lewis Carroll Bateman, Lisa Coleman Burke. But I never found out. They'd send me these booklets with theories and exercises. circle of characters LCB called as creations. I started to put what I'd learned into practice. I even sent some stories off to some address in one of the booklets. I took the chance to ask about the meaning of the signature. Never heard back. What's character circles? Kevin pauses before answering. Do you know how many non-collinear points are needed to define a circle? Oh. Ask what a non-collinear... You know me, developer. You know me. Non-collinear points are points that don't share the same straight line. Yeah? Wait. But in a circle, it takes 3 non-collinear points to define a circle. I was just okay. When I just froze, that was me thinking. I was like, it can't be that many because pretty much most points in a circle can connect with each other via a straight line. Okay, 3. Kevin smiles. Imagine 3 points on a piece of paper. When you connect the dots, you make a triangle. And if you draw a circle that fits around this triangle, you see there's only one that does it perfectly. Each of the 3 points you drew is a vertex of the triangle, the corners. And the center of the circle is a special point that's exactly the same distance from each of the corners. Imagine you put the point of a compass in that spot, and you make the pencil touch any of the corners of the triangle. Then draw a circle with a compass. The circumference will touch all 3 points. Yeah, but that only works if the triangle has similar side lengths. If it doesn't, then you can't just... You know... Or can you? LCB states that a character can be defined by just 3 stories. Oh, okay. Well, back to writing, that's fine. And rather than writing novels or short stories, he prefers character circles. But a circle is a difficult geometric figure. It eats its own tail. According to LCB, the character circle is the most perfect narrative unit. And because of this basic perfection, the most tragic. Why the most tragic? Because the first thing you have to accept when you do something is that you remove the possibility of doing something else. Yeah. A guy in a suit used to come to the bar. He didn't talk much. He'd read the newspaper and have nothing but coffee for breakfast. I never confirmed it, but from the first day he came, I figured he was FBI. One of the LCB exercises was about that. Observing someone and imagining 3 stories that define them. Those stories outline a character circle. Want to hear this FBI coffee guy's 3 stories? Yeah, sure. Maybe another night. What? I need to serve these beasts now. Aw, come on. Order a beer. You drink your beer in silence. Look at the counter gun. It's the first one of the night. Although your handler's strategy is smart, you know you can't drink too much. There's a point at which no matter how well you can hold your booze, you're going to start talking. And on that borderline between what's fact and what's fiction, you run the risk of someone pulling the veil. And everything coming to an abrupt end. Yeah, that's me. Go to Tony's office. Tables. What's the tables in the... Ooh, there's a man you've never seen before sitting at one of the tables. Hey, you look like someone I know from one of the previous games. His face is covered and you wonder if he's hiding from someone. So here's the thing. I will probably be incredibly... I've already spoiled a little bit of some of the previous games. And at the end of this whole thing, I will spoil a lot of it. So my recommendation is, if you want to, either play the first 2 games, which is Varney Lake and Mothman 1966, or watch my Let's Plays of them. I will add them to the video at the end of it. Because they're really fun, but they're also all connected, which is so cool. I love a shared universe if it's well done. And these games, it's beautifully done. It's like little Easter eggs. But isn't it true that we all hide from someone else? Oh man, Jesus. That's like kitchen philosophy. Talk. You start to say something and the man looks you in the eye. You decide not to bother him. You recognize the need to be alone when you see it. Who is he? Does anyone know? Huh. Do I want to tell the others or not? Approach the jukebox. Look at pictures. Select left. Look at the picture. The former president of the country. You wonder how there are still people who believe in politicians. Will it be enough just to want to believe? Oh, that's Mulder and Scully. Ha, that's funny. Okay. It's funny to me. Okay. Danny posing with a younger man you don't recognize. Could be one of the characters of one of the first games, but I'm not sure. You read the message on the picture. To a true fan, Scaloni. So it's not LCB. Maybe Scaloni is a musician? I don't know. You can, I mean, nowadays, and back then even, you can be a fan of so many different people of different handicrafts, you know? Like, I'm... Like, the people I not look up to, but the people that I follow on Instagram or on YouTube, for example, they're mostly not actors or musicians. They're more like game developers, voice actors, actually. Illustrate. I love comic artists and stand-ups, you know, so could be anyone. Look at the picture. The first of the pictures is of his famous crooner. That's him? Yeah, he looks gorgeous. From what I can see. But I love the rockabilly look. I know it often comes with... Not often. But it can come with a slightly conservative political mindset, you know. But I like more the rebel, rouser rockabillys. And the looks are really cool. They're so neat. What was his name? Tim Robinson. Next to the picture of an attractive woman. Oh, that's the crooner. Alright. Okay. Could she be famous? The third picture is of Danny with a man you don't recognize either. I love that they're so small. And Danny's bar in the bottom picture. The date in the corner suggests that the photo was taken around the time of the inauguration. Select right. Elvis Presley. He doesn't look like Elvis Presley. He looks better than Elvis Presley. Yeah, I said what I said. Is it true what you heard at the agency about his death? Oh my god! That's hilarious. I'm super sure this is a hint that he's still alive. Select the right. A group of friends. The photo is old. Why are you looking at the pictures on the wall of a shitty bar? Sometimes you think that everything you do is nothing more than a simple distraction. A way to delay the inevitable. Back. Back. Do we want to go... Oh man, it feels so dangerous. Why would I do that? No, go back, go to the left of the bar, go to the emergency exit. Go outside. You take a deep breath. How much longer are you going to resist? Oh. What resist? Okay, well I guess then we'll, do we have something new to discuss? Talk. More. Talk to Keith. Yeah. I mean, he actually waved us over. He also looks like that's vampire hair. Come on. You wait a second for the others to shut up. Oh yeah, also I clicked on talk to exorcism in case you weren't looking. And you ask Keith if he believes in route exorcisms. Keith looks at you for a while without answering. I owe Tony a lot. I was locked up for a long time, Boulder. Do you know how hard it is to ask yourself questions knowing how much you hate not having the answers? When I was younger, I got a stupid idea in my head. Could I break someone's eardrum with a gas pump's nozzle? Once a question settles in my head, Keith takes a deep breath. It's as if a stranger came into your house, sat down on your favorite couch, and started watching TV, drinking your beer and eating your snacks. The questions in my head are that son of a bitch, Boulder. And the only way I have to kick him out is to answer them. Keith scratches his face. It can be done, Boulder. Puncturing someone's eardrum with a gas pump's nozzle is a lot easier than you'd think. Well, okay. Did not really answer my question though, but it's fine. Let's talk to the dipshit. Talk about almost running him over. I don't understand how you killed your family. You have good reflexes. Without taking your eyes off him for a second, you think of all the options you'd have if you didn't care about the mission. Punch him in the face until he's unconscious. Smash a beer glass against the gleaming surface of his skull. Flip the table in the air and elbow him in the neck amid the confusion. So, Boulder, they really tame his violent fantasies. And I say that as someone who's not a violent person at all. I do not like violence. I'm not a pacifist because I live in reality. But, you know, but even I would have thought of, like, if someone tried to trigger me with the death of my family that I accidentally caused, my fantasies would be a lot more violent. And they would involve a lot more, like, soft tissue, like eyes, you know, and the mouth and stuff like that, and teeth. It's not soft tissue, but, you know. So, I read a lot of horror, so I guess I'm more knowledgeable than Boulder is. What you gonna do? Talk about the exorcism. You know that Luca didn't like Tony choosing you to be in front of the cross. I'm not going to deny that you've got balls, Boulder. But sometimes it takes more than balls to... It takes more... No. Sometimes it's not enough to have balls and... Fuck me. Luca takes a deep breath and takes a good gulp of beer. You wonder how Luca can screw up the punchline on something as basic as sometimes it takes more than balls to. And at the same time jokes so effortlessly about a tragedy like the supposed death of your family. I guess cruelty comes naturally to him, but witticism doesn't. Or witticisms don't. There we go. That's the right grammar. It's ironic when I say grammar because I look like a grandma, so... Even demonstrating a good sense of timing. Right. Well, we did all the things we did here, so let's go to the right of the bar. Let's go to Tony's office. There are two goons checking that no one enters the office. Alright. Well, what can I do? Listen to the jukebox. Check the jukebox singles. Lady Love Dies. Man, I read Daddy Love Dies. Don't ask me why. Next one. Golden Butterfly. LTC? Uh-huh. Frank and Drake. I love that they all look very different. This looks like a Led Zeppelin cover, but still looks like actual, like it's, they all look like references to albums. I think the two dudes, for example, looked a little bit like the Simon and Garfunkel cover. Okay. Oh, that's all of them. Let's listen to Frank and Drake. Back. What can I do, though? Leaving already, Boulder? Why don't you come here and chat? You make a hand gesture and walk to the door. I chatted! No one wanted to talk to me. Exorcisms on the road. Messianic delusions. Sadists at the wheel. And the constant threat of being killed. How much more of all this could you take? Did I do something wrong here? I feel like I depleted all my options. Alright! I think I will end this episode, the video here. So we have like 2 episodes each video. That's a good... I think that's a good pace we're going with here. So around about 40 to 45 minutes. I'm so interested how this will continue because it's so different from Mothman 1966 because that played... I will not spoil too much, but that played basically within one night. So, you know, everything happened pretty much all at once. And then Varney Lake was more like it's more like Stand By Me from the genre type of game, or Lost Boys. So it's a couple of kids, you know, that experience something. So it's over a summer, but there the stakes are not as high because... You know, it's there's bullies and everything. There's dangers, of course. This pulp horror, you know. But it's different because here you have the constant tension with the decisions you're making that you might make a wrong decision and get caught. I mean, I already died 2 times. And this is so interesting because I'm not just, you know, playing this to be like, oh, what's cool content here? How can I get to know the characters better and have cool conversations and find out cool stuff? But it's also about what can I do that doesn't bite me in the ass towards the end, that, you know, maybe I've made a decision that caused them to find out who I am. So I really love how this is going. And I said it before, I say it again. I think the Pulp Fiction, the Pulp Pixels, Pixel Pulps, there we go. They're so fun. They're beautifully made. You can see like the love for detail in the writing, in the visuals, in the music, everything. Everything is so, I mean, you know, and I just saw that the developers actually are writing about making the Pixel Pulps, and I will definitely look into that because I'm really interested how they approach these games. Because it really feels like they sketch them out. That's the thing. The visuals are sketched out a bit like comics, you know, graphic novels, and I don't know why I say graphic. Like I want to for anyone who doesn't know what the comics are, you know. But then also the dialogue options obviously have to be like bigger trees, you know. So it's a daunting thing because you'd feel like for a game like this, where you don't walk around like in an action game, you know, and shoot a shotgun or whatever, but where you have all those small little mini games. Think about that every single mini game has to have, or in these games, has a different gameplay. So just for these 5-minute mini games and probably 6 hours, depending on how long you spent with them or how long it takes you to understand them, you know, there has to be a whole rule set. And of course, you can take rule sets. For example, the road exorcism was quite, you know, a very classic, like even Game Boy road game, driving game. But there's also, you know, the card games always feel very unique. And I also played in the other games some really cool strategic approaches where you really had to think, like a turn-based, actually, strategy game where you really had to think ahead to get the good solution. And this is something I think, you know, you don't really think about while you're playing it, but it is there. And because it feels so effortlessly and fun, you know, actually shows how much work is behind it. Because that's always my thinking, that the more smooth the game feels, the more, you know, the more easy and intuitive it is to play it. And, you know, we're not talking about, card game rules have nothing to do with easy and smooth gameplay. That's just me not getting it into my head. Because I need to connect stuff I read and hear. Like with card games and mathematics, I need to do it on my own. I need to write it down. I need to have it like a somewhat physical sensation to understand it. So that's not about the gameplay. That's me having a learning type that doesn't correlate with games in general. So, you know, but other than that, it feels so smooth to play this. And that means that someone really took pains to think about a good way to make it smooth, to make it, you know, just really easygoing. And I love this. Anyways, I hope you continue this journey with the Bahnsen. Like, I want to find out if we die or if we live. And, I don't know, uncover the cult. Who knows? Yeah, other than that, if you're new to this channel, why on episode 2? Maybe you watched episode 1 and just immediately started with episode 2. You know, I play a lot of indie horror games, so if you enjoy that and a lot of talking, you know, you feel free to subscribe. And I promise you, if you want to, like, if I start an incredibly elaborate story about, like, story writing and circles and physics and mathematics and whatnot, you know, and then you're like, oh, that's interesting, tell me more, you know, I will not be like, no, I started this incredible intro to a cool story and now we'll stop because I have to serve people. I can just serve people and then go back to the story, you know. You will hear the end of the story if you want to hear it, you know. Because once I started a story, I don't stop. So subscribe. Anyways, I hope you had a good time. I hope you have a wonderful day. And maybe see you next time. Bye! This is my self-recorded outro song so I don't get hit with copyright claims. If you subscribe to a lot of fun tutorials, reviews, and let's plays.